We on Twitch? Let me find out.
Listen, they are having a big debate. I'm serious. I seen on your page, Torre, about your curls. I know I keep bringing it up, but it's two things. It's your age and your curls.
Yo, this guy said on the YouTube, he said Torre looks like an exotic bird that's trying to hold down a regular person's job. Wow. And I'm like, Dimitri, you didn't have to put that on the internet. Like, what the hell is wrong with you?
That was my burner page.
I can tell your handwriting even on a YouTube comment. Like, what the hell? That was foul, D. Nobody really did write that. I'm like, wow, that was like creative.
Well, you know the saying, Torre, when everyone likes you, you're on your way. When they start to hate you, you made it, brother. So congratulations. You and your curls have made it.
Did the curls make it there first, or did I make it there first?
The curls. Definitely the curls.
The curls. Oh, wow. Okay.
Curls for the girls.
Am I 4C? Or 4B or 3C? I always am like, which one am I?
Good question. I just call it the mixed curl.
I'm not mixed.
That's what we all say.
Wow. Welcome to Truth Talks. Last week we had an amazing start on our new platform, the Black Star Network. We come on right after Roland Martin Unfiltered, and we're honored to welcome all the Bring the Funk fan club to our show, Truth Talks. I need all of you to hop in the chat tonight. Truth tellers, we are here for you. Let's rock. Let's talk. Let's...
Are y'all ready to roll? Let's go.
Truth Talks is back with undiluted, unapologetic, blackity black, don't crack truth telling, the show that asks the tough questions and answers them like friends in a bar. Please give a warm welcome to the next generation wise man, Dimitri Wiley.
I hear y'all. I appreciate you. Pleasure to be here.
And Dr. Sarah Fontenot.
What's up? Super happy to be here today. Feeling very blessed while I'm in Los Angeles, California, and happy you guys are here with me.
I feel the bright, shiny energy. And Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, how are you, my sister?
I'm doing amazing. Listen, I only have one thing. Let's get into it. Let's drop the topics. Let's put in the spice, and I'm ready to be nothing but... I was going to say nice, but that might not quite fit how I come on here, but I'm ready. Let's get into this stuff, Torre. What you got for us?
You stay attacking me every episode, but it's all love. I get it. We go get into it. Story number one, trending truths. Is Diddy broke? Is he going broke? He had a huge fortune, hundreds of millions of dollars. But if he's convicted, the government will claw back most of his money. They call it ill-gotten gains. They will confiscate everything that they can connect to anything illegal. And because this is about his businesses, a RICO, if they get him on the racketeering charge, they're probably going to take a lot of his money. Some of his kids are young adults, but his twin daughters are still teenagers. He has two younger daughters, much younger than them. Doc, where do his children go from here?
I mean, listen, I think as much as we believe Diddy's empire is coming crashing down, I think the least thing of his empire that's coming crashing down is his money.
I don't know.
That is, but I don't feel like his kids are going to have to worry about what to do financially or socioeconomically where they go. The money that he has isn't limited to, a lawsuit. And as we pretty much mentioned prior to getting on here, he's making money by renting out his private jet while being in prison. So the man is still accumulating cash while he's also cashing out for this lawsuit and everything else he has going on.
Dimitri, he made $4 million renting out his private plane. That's change for somebody who's used to being worth $300-400 million. If he can't get into business with another liquor company, another apparel company, right? Another record company, so he can what does he do? I wonder if we're going to look ahead to Diddy being bankrupt.
You know, the thing about it is honestly comparative. It's what you're used to. You only panic from what you're used to. So if I had money and I always had money and I lost money, and I can't afford my means or what I'm comfortable with, then the panic starts to set in. You know, it's actually very funny to me because I remember Dave Chappelle recently said on like a Saturday Night Live skit that it's a very scary time to be famous. Why? Because nowadays, a person like Diddy or, you know, any other sort of influence you have that makes you money, it's directly tied to who you are as a person. So for the allegations to possibly be true and him to be in so much controversy, it may be very hard to strike a deal like that again.
Sarah, it's possible he could beat the charges. It's possible. It's also possible, perhaps even more possible, that Trump might pardon him. So he might be free one day. Can you imagine him reconstituting his business, his empire, despite all that has happened to his image?
Not in America. No, I think that he's going to have to leave the country, fall off the face of the American earth. But I absolutely think that Diddy is connected to highly influential, highly wealthy, and highly powerful people, where as long as he's investing privately, I don't think it'll be much of an issue. I think as long as he can keep his mouth shut, I don't think it'll be much of an issue. Even if you were to go to Middle Eastern countries, they're into some pretty crazy things over there.
Sarah.
Yes.
You're seriously suggesting that a person who's been unmasked as having beaten the crap out of his girlfriend hundreds of times, and possibly allegedly raped her, will be fine?
Yeah, I do think that, because you also have to remember, I believe, now I wasn't there, but why is it that a lot of these celebrities are saying they went home when the freak off started? But did they really? So I feel like there's an opportunity where a lot of these powerful, influential, wealthy people that were also in that space that Diddy is not ratting out, that is not bringing to the stand. I think that those are relationships that are going to help him to keep his money up, keep his relationships thriving.
I know that people are making that point. Heretofore, in this microscopic trial, microscoping Diddy's life, all we have ever heard of is the freak-offs being three people: Cassie, a sex worker, and Diddy. We have not heard anyone verify the thing we've been talking about, the big eyes wide shut Hollywood party where there's, you know, this one and that one and celebrity. We have not heard of that. And I'm going around my people who are a bad boy, and I'm like, did you hear of these? And they're like, I never even heard of it. So I have no quantifiable person who's saying I was there at that thing that we have been talking about. I don't know. I don't imagine, Cheyenne, that somebody could have people saying these sorts of things about you and then ever again being able to be above ground.
It's about the money.
This is my thing. I don't think Diddy, if he beats this case, is going to have a problem with money, with honey, or money. I don't think that will be a problem. I'm more concerned about the psychological impacts on these children than this lavish lifestyle for them to be able to continue to live. I feel like the biggest barrier is for him to beat this case, or for him to not beat the case, maybe get a domestic violence charge, do a little bit of time, get his ass out, and all he's going to do is recalibrate. I'll land on this. The saying is, if you split the money up and give everybody in the world an equal amount, within a very, very, very short amount of time, the folks who were millionaires and billionaires, who were the ones that accumulated the wealth to begin with, all the money will be back in their bank account at some point. So what I'm saying is this: if Diddy knew how to Diddy it one time, two times, Torre, hold on, Diddy will be able to Diddy it again. Listen, he had money before these endorsements. Diddy been hustling from the streets of New York before any of these record deals. Of course, it's a different time. I don't see a man who done what he's done, get out of jail, beat this case, and then say, I'm broke. Come on, let's be realistic, y'all. That's not going to happen.
I mean, I'm not sure how you could walk away with your reputation so in tatters and then find major partners to work with you so you could make that big money again. But
you have to remember,
let me move on. Hold on. I am dying to get to the next story because I love this story. It is probably my favorite story of the year so far. The largest antebellum plantation in history burned to the ground this year. The Nottoway Plantation, a museum and event venue, massive fire. Let's just look. Listen to the fire burning. Can you see
You can fire burning.
torture, the forced labor camp, the human trafficking, rape, all the trapped souls who were tortured in this place being released and free? I only wish that someone could set this fire again so we could go back to experiencing. But you know what? This was an event space for weddings and birthdays. It was a place of employment, even for some Black people. Dimitri, some Black people held weddings there. About 30% of their wedding business, their entire event business, weddings and birthdays, were Black people having weddings or parties at this plantation. Do you understand the mindset of somebody who would have a Black person who would have a major life event there?
Imagine me waiting my whole life, this lost lover boy. I go get married, and I got my grandma cha-cha sliding over a cemetery. Oh, hell no, it don't work for me. I couldn't do it. The thing about it is, let that motherfucker burn. And I heard a lot of people saying, you know, it employed Black people and it did this and it did that. If the only job in this community we can get is a plantation turn wedding venue, you need to move. You understand what I'm saying? Because there's jobs available here in Chicago. Because I ain't trying to hear it. Let that motherfucker burn.
Go ahead, Sarah.
Oh,
you'd get married there. I heard it you would get married there.
No, now look, I'm not getting married there. And let me be clear, okay? I come from activists in my family. My dad, who was from Compton, California, although I grew up in Canada, my dad was a part of the Cal State Northridge student activism that happened in the 70s so that there was equality and opportunity for Black students, African-American students. So I believe in fighting for the people. And I can also see how going there is like, I'm going to stick it to the man because you have no power over me. There's no power that anyone or anything has over me. Now, would I get married there? No, but I can kind of understand that mindset a little bit.
I'm not mad at you, Sarah. I would never do that, but I do feel what you're saying. As Dimitri was talking, I was thinking about Viola Davis buying, her grandmother's home and like trying to reclaim the past for ourselves. And so like, I kind of see your way. Dr. Bryant, question for you. Your really good white girlfriend is getting married there. And of course she's inviting you.
Hold on. She's not inviting me. Could she invite who? She's not inviting me.
Well, no, but that's the question. She does invite you. What do you tell her?
It ain't a question. She's not inviting me. And none of my white ally friends would do something as stupid as this because they would know who they're friends with. I ain't playing with that shit. I'm very outspoken. My thing is, I'm only upset that they didn't send a mass Black folk invitation so we could all line our asses up outside of that thing, watch it burn, throw in some of the shit we want to burn up, throw in some of them trauma loops we want to burn up, throw in some of them dysfunctional, psychological, generational curses that we want to throw in that bitch and let it all burn together. And then let's set up spade games and domino games. Yeah. And let's have that. Let's do the word and fans that I want to cha-cha. I want to do all that once that thing burned down. Because I think that we deserve to celebrate alongside our ancestors who are sitting up there going, we waited all this time for the place that created so much dismantling and hardship, not just in that moment, but as we see long-term impactful effects that we are still experiencing till this day. Okay, I wish we would have had a chance to celebrate the burning of it and not just celebrate a wedding inside of a place where our ancestors were literally dissipated and demised. No, I'm good. I don't want to celebrate that. I want to celebrate, like Dimitri said in Dimitri's word, his voice, let that motherfucker burn.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Like Dimitri, if you live in that town and you're struggling to find work and there is a job open there, could you consider it? Could you blame somebody who's saying, hey, like, this is a decent job for me? Or like, no, you cannot work there. That's crazy.
You know the thing about it, I'm going to be realistic. I'm going to be honest with you sometimes. This is how I look at it. Somebody was having a debate. They was like, I would pick cotton if they paid $1 million an hour, $100 an hour. Because there's a lot of people doing a lot for a lot less. Me, I'm a man of principle. I can't do it. Me, no. I'd actually, if I lived in that town, I'd actually been in jail for like arsony because I'd have burned the motherfucker a long time ago. That's just me though.
Right. I've been there with you. I've been there with you.
But
Sarah,
Sarah,
I would rather die of a headache than get a bit of cotton out of a aspirin bottle. So that's me.
but don't you feel like, the ancestors are there with you on your special day? Okay, all jokes aside. And
whoa, they can be there with you in other ways. My God. Wow.
What I'm saying is, really and truly, I just feel like when you can get rid of any of those power things that are over you, I'm just not giving it to any man. And I feel like, there were house Negroes and there were field Negroes, but I'll have y'all know that my family on my dad's side is from Louisiana, and they on their own land were picking cotton. Now, so I just
hold on. They were from Compton or Louisiana.
So they come from Louisiana. They live in Compton.
So they were sharecroppers. That's a classic Great Migration, but they're sharecroppers. Okay, great. I mean, I do feel you, Sarah. There's so many places, though, where you could commune with the ancestors without doing it in a space that was of torture and kidnapping for them.
That's all I'm saying.
But I want to hit on what Sarah said really quick and we'll move on. She said that she is not allowing any outside forces, a man of any color, whatever, to have this power over her, right? Where burning something down like this really makes that big of a deal. And I hear that, but I want to add that burning down something that meant nothing but negative, that represented so much of a impoverished, of an oppressed a time for us. And we, again, drive by it, we see it, people are celebrating at it. That is a secondary trauma. That does create now to that trauma loop we talked about in one of our episodes. And so burning down that actually does release a lot of power to us. And it actually does help us see the power we do have in this country. For all the work that our advocacy and our freedom fighters have put in, these motherfuckers understand that there came a day that our ancestors didn't think these type of buildings and plantations would be burned down and destroyed. Yeah. And the power is we as a people and our allies have worked so hard that they burning stuff down so we don't have to live in the secondary trauma. So we don't have to drive past that and say, damn, you know what? I wonder how it felt when they were picking cotton. I wonder how it felt when our ancestors were in slavery. Guess what? We don't have to see it. We can hear about it in our history books. We don't have to drive past that and relive and be reactivated by something that isn't even happening anymore.
So you're right. It's very cathartic to watch that burn down. Perhaps the most cathartic thing I have experienced since I saw Jamie Foxx in Django Unchained take a bullwhip from a massa and whip him. I was like, bravo, I need 10 more just like that.
Wait, I agreed with you. This is agreement number 1. You probably won't get another one, brother.
Okay, well, the audience at home can follow along as you wish. Today in politicking, really important segment, racist memes shared by a couple of Navy SEALs have prompted disciplinary action. 2 Navy SEALs sharing racist memes aimed at one black sailor who's out there with them, doing all the stuff with them, fighting, running, all the pain that they're going through, he's going through too, but they are creating these racist memes about him looking like a slave, like other things, like denigrating him, even though he's going through the same. But Dimitri, at some point, the black member of this SEAL team will be asked, go do something. And in these moments, you got to trust the other people with you. Do they have your back? Are they with you? If somebody shoots at you, will they be thinking about you first? Whatever, all the things that you have to do for the brothers and sisters in your platoon. How do you do that as a black SEAL when you know that other people in your, even if they were punished, that's what you think, that's what they would do?
You know, the thing about it is, when I worked, let's just say a normal 9 to 5, it's hard to trust the people that ain't got my life on the line. It's hard to trust the people who just, my job's relying on their job. This is completely different. This is having to put your entire being or existence onto somebody else if they're failing to see you as a troop. And the thing about it is, how can you say you support the troops if you stay silent on something so large? So I'm actually pro punishment, pro removing it, because the thing about it is it'd be entirely too difficult for me to work under those circumstances.
Sarah, how do you trust somebody who you know, like in a crazy life and death type situation here. You're putting your body and your life on the line, your mind, your spirit. And you know somebody said racist things about you. How do you do that?
Yeah, I see that's a struggle for me, because my question is this person actually being racist, or is this an agreement that two people have to joke around? Was he inside of the group chat where the memes were being had? Because sometimes people allow themselves to be the center of the pun of the joke. Sometimes people allow for those outside of our color to say the N-word, not me.
Sarah, who's doing that? Where's that happening? Where are the black people who are saying white people, and it's fine to say the N-word? Who's doing that?
There are so many black people. And this is the thing. This is why we are the diaspora of the spectrum, right? Depending on where you were raised or what you've seen or who you've been around, you may or may not have seen that. But the truth is that it happens. So for my brain says, either this person is a complete idiot with a disregard for their life, because I will not be racist to a man that can move out the way so I get hit by a bullet. That is so ignorant, or it's a joke. And for me, if I'm putting my life on the line, if I'm putting my trust in that this person is going to have my back, that's going to pull me to safety, then I would hope that this person, and it's okay on all fronts, is okay with that level of joking. I don't think that it's okay.
Not okay with racist joking, period. Like, white people cannot make anti-black jokes, like, and then expect me to like or respect them. Like, that's not happening. I'm not sure how you're like, well, it's just a joke. Like, that's not going to be acceptable.
Well, not me, but there are people that do that. Some people are the punt of the joke. Some people are used to being the token black people. Some people are used to being the token white people. And sometimes when you're so used to playing that role, it just becomes a thing. Everybody, it's a melting pot. It is what it is. Now, I'm not saying I am that person. I'm saying that I know these people.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I will be honest. She cooking. She cooking right now. Because in this, I don't know about y'all generation, but in this generation, in the working world, you constantly see like different cultures shooting racist shit at each other all the time.
Yep.
These are like jokes they make, like literally black to Mexican, black to white, and it just goes back and forth. I've never been one to tolerate it, but
you've overheard people in your job making anti-black jokes
all the fucking time, all the time, and it's almost like I have to.
How would that be okay for someone to say something anti-black in front of you?
They're not saying it's okay, Torre. They're saying that it happens. They're not saying it's okay. There's no reality.
If it happened in front of you and you didn't deal with it, then you are tacitly saying it's
listen.
And you're right, Torre. And you are a part of the racism rhetoric that you allow to happen. I agree with you, Torre. But I hear them saying that they are not allowing it, nor do they have friends in their company that do it. But they know that there are a lot of groups that will allow other people outside of being black to say the N-word.
Wait, no. He said he's heard it.
Yeah,
I would lose my mind if somebody in my workspace said something and I've had that happen, and I did lose my mind.
I would check.
I don't know, Dimitri, where is this world where people at your job are saying racist things and you're not like either HR or you're gonna catch these fists, or you at least gonna hear a lot of this mouth?
See me, I was never the HR caller. I'm a fist thrower right off top. It's fist throwing for me in my black culture. That's just me. The thing about it is I've heard it. I addressed the black man in the situation and said, why are you okay with this? Okay, now I'm gonna make him uncomfortable and make sure none of this shit happens. That's just me. I've stopped it, but it happens so much often than you think. This is jokes for them.
Yeah.
Like they love shooting at each other like this. For us, this trauma.
Yeah.
So it's all about how.
And I want to go. Dimitri, you're on point. I want to go a little further, Torre, because my father's side is black, right? Barbados black. My mother's side is Hispanic and French Creole. Well, obviously, we have Mexicans, we are. And my Mexican family, who's not Creole, who's not black, I have to be honest, to Dimitri and Sarah's point, they use the N-word. They inside their home inside their home, Mexican. Hold on, Torre, because hold on, Torre. We are not the R. Come on, they use nigga. Damn, Torre, they use nigga. Come on now. So what I'm saying is, at family events, we got us mixed black folks and we got them as Mexicans. We're all family, but they will literally walk in the house and be like, "What's up, nigga?" And but they are not black. So let me be real about it. It happens not just in friendship groups. I'm going deeper to say it happens in families. Now, again, let me be clear. My family is not saying Niger. They're saying the the street term nigga. And do we tell them you're a Mexican, don't say that? We just flow with it. It happens. Now, I don't know if he goes to work and does it, but I have to say that because it happens at such a nucleus level as far as family, that may also give them the idea that they can go outside the family and do it. Do I check my uncle for doing it? No, I don't check him.
If I was
my uncle's not racist, at least I don't think he is.
I can thinking of at least 2 specific work situations where somebody said something ignorant and they thought it was a joke, but I was like, that's not funny, and now I'm offended. Mm-hmm. And I felt like the Black community, past and present, is standing behind me going, well, you're going to say something or let that go? And like, of course I'm not going to let that go. Like, I wouldn't even be in the spaces that I'm in if others had not lifted me up. So if I have that platform and that privilege to be at this level, I got to at least run my mouth to say we are not having racist jokes or comments happening around me. Like, you got to know, like, we can't say that shit around him because he will go off. And I would not have some.
But let me ask you this, Torre. If it was, I'm just curious, if it was family, like in my situation, how would you checkmate that? I
think that's totally different.
Okay.
And in New York also, some brown folks feel that the N-word is also for them. We've seen, just as a famous example, I think we've seen Fat Joe, who's Puerto Rican, say the N-word in rhymes. Yeah. Nobody's going to say, Joey, you can't say that. I'm part of Black culture. So like, if you are brown and you are part of Black culture and you're saying it with an A, I will rock with you. What
about the white man that was raised by Black people?
Nah, he good. He got.
What about Eminem? What about Eminem? Eminem is a rapper. And he's
Eminem said it, and I don't even want to be defending him. I'm just explaining what I understand about the situation, that he said it in a rhyme where he was supposed to be saying the opposite of what he really believes as a creative test for himself. That's not something that he released. I have spent time with him, interviewing him. He is deeply respectful of Black people and the Black struggle and would never say that. And I think white people who are in and around Black spaces and Black families understand that. Go ahead, Dimitri.
The thing about it is people do shit where they're most comfortable. And the 2 places you're most comfortable is at home and at work, because you're there all the goddamn time. So the thing about it is, to take it back to this Navy SEALs perspective, this is their job. This is what they do. This is where they spend most of their time. So this is where they're most comfortable. All that racist shit, to Sarah's point, could be jokes simply because they're comfortable. Now, my question is for the chat. Everybody in the chat, y'all letting it slide or what? Y'all doing racist jokes at work?
Letting it slide.
And I want to get back, Dimitri, I'm happy you brought it back to nucleus of our topic, which is the Navy SEALs, right? Because there is 95% of the Navy SEALs are white. That means our brothers are completely underrepresented, represented, right? Of officers. Yeah, 95% of the SEAL officers are white. So this is something I preach about all the time when it comes to our law enforcement and when it comes to all employment. Since you mentioned it being a job, Dimitri, where's the culture of competence? Because if you are outnumbered and these people don't have competence on your culture, nor do they have competence on your people, and they don't have family members that look like you, they don't have neighborhoods that look like you, and you are their first exposure and experience to someone being Black, that is a huge deficit and can be extremely dangerous for all Black people being in a 95 percentile of an environment of all white Navy SEALs. That's a problem.
Also work in environments where there are generally not guns and people who want to fight. So that person is subject to the other people around him have access to weapons, and there's plenty of time and a culture where physical fighting with each other is accepted and perhaps encouraged. Yeah. So I feel bad. I feel bad for the brother. He's definitely got a long road to deal with finding trust in an environment where people are spreading these sort of things. Let me move on to the main topic. The conversation was fantastic. You guys are killing it today. Sharenting. I hope you guys understand the word sharenting. A lot of parents, Black parents, are sharing their life with their children and their parenting online. Sometimes it's wholesome, but sometimes it's too much. Some of us are on social media sharing very intimate videos about our kids. Parent influencers are great, but you can, let's I just want to roll a clip of a very uninvolved parent named Kanye. Wow, wildly oversharing about his daughter.
Little girl not knowing what the fuck is going on while comedians is making fucking jokes, and they don't know that she's dyslexic and they got her in a fucking corner at the school. They don't know that and this is a yay oversharing, but having problems with her bowel movements and shit, literally. And motherfuckers on TV talking, bro.
Gross. Sarah, part of the problem is a lack of the ability to have informed consent.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. When I look at informed consent, so first of all, let's talk about what that is, right? So it's a process where a healthcare provider, like a doctor, explains a medical procedure or treatment to a patient, allowing the patient to understand the risks, the benefits, and alternatives before making a decision. A key component to the consent is competency. Right? The patient or child must be competent to make the decision, meaning they are capable of understanding the information and making a reasonable choice. And so for me, because we live in this attention epidemic where people would much rather have attention rather than respect, when people are relying on the likes and the comments and the views that they get on their videos for peace and happiness and joy inside of their life, we are absolutely derailing our children and also setting them up for failure. Because now you have little kids that feel like they're not as popular if they're not being overshared, not understanding the detriment that this is causing when you have videos of the parents that's with their child at the OBGYN. When what's his name was, I don't even remember which rapper it was, talking about his daughter and her hymen. Why are we talking about these things so publicly like it's normal? It is absolutely a direct disrespect to that person's privacy, and it's also making it for other little people that look up to this little person that's the it person, like that's what they want, but they're not enough. It's a lot of issues for me, and there's no way that there's informed consent because they don't even know what is happening.
You can't have informed consent from a child at all, right?
Yeah,
right.
You know, I mean, I'm really active on TikTok. I love the platform. If you follow me, every once in a while, you'll see one of my kids if there's a relevant little joke or way to involve them. But like, I'm not going to like put them out there a lot. I don't want to talk about my parenting a lot. Some people want to overshare about their parenting. There's a clip that really made me turn my stomach. Roll that clip. This is definitely problematic. It's way too grown in these videos. The looks are not appropriate. This is, we're going to get into kid influencers later, but just like as a parent, Dimitri, when we're oversharing our children like this, like a whole video just showing her in different looks, this seems to me to be oversharing.
You know, for me, I guess you can call me a social media dad. I have a 5-year-old son. His name's Logan. Most of my platform kind of knows who he is. But the thing about what I share versus what's different than a lot of other people, I don't give my son's intimate moments away. I don't deprive him of privacy. I think the thing about it is that's very important. Just the other day, I was sharing how I use the old string around a tooth, close the door, rip the tooth out thing. And yes, he loved it. It was his idea, by the way. It's all his idea. He got up one day and he was like, I want to rip my tooth out. Okay, cool. But the thing about it is the tooth fairy came, put some money under his pillow. He loved it. Those are the moments I'm sharing online. And the thing about it is he did the elf on the shelf. He did this, he did that. You know, a lot of times I find, now that I'm actually diving into the thought of it, I don't have a partner. Right? There's nobody for me to share my excitement on this category with.
Interesting.
The world is living it with me. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing to where people can see the joy in my son, but when it becomes sharing doctor information, when it becomes sharing school grades and all of these other things, you're depriving that child of an opportunity of privacy.
Well, let me show this clip about beating children that is supposed to be funny, but this turns my stomach. I want to see this.
Headphones.
Not me.
ISIS, I don't know which one of y'all did it. This belt don't know who to hit. I'm finna get all y'all.
Lacey, tell him. Theo, tell him. Daddy, please don't talk.
Alright, I ain't gonna pop you.
Yes.
I'm finna beat you. Turn around.
What is the funny part of this person, a grown man who is 2 or 3 times the size of these children, threatening with a weapon, promising to inflict pain on their bodies? What is the funny part, Cheyenne? I don't get the joke.
I mean, well, it's not funny. I also think it's triggering for people who have experienced abuse as a child. When you see somebody with a belt standing over 3 kids, it looks more like bullying. And for some people who got whooped with the belt growing up, they look at it as discipline. Others look at it as abuse. And for the ones who deemed it as abuse, I think that is extremely triggering. I also think that it is a wrong representation of our community and our culture. Do I think that Black folks whoop their kids? Absolutely. I am definitely not a gentle parenting person when I have kids. I'm definitely into whooping ass and discipline, but not to the level where it's like I'm bullying you and I'm telling you with the belt standing over you, asking, who did it and who's going to tell me and what does that look like? That wasn't a disciplinary moment to me. That was more of a father who was attempting to bully his kids. And I don't know, I guess, show the world that this is what fathering or daddying looks like.
There's also a video from an African family. I mean, it seems like Black parents love to brag about how they're beating the kids. Show that video.
What happened to her? Well, she was the boss.
I don't even see what the kid is doing wrong.
Aiden, what are you doing? What are you doing? Aiden, what are you doing?
And now she's going to do it too. I don't get it. This is not a good representation of parenting. It is not good parenting to inflict pain on children. People do not learn when they are in pain. This looks to be just mean and cruel. I don't even know what the child has done wrong. Dimitri, the question is, why are we sharing videos like this?
I think the thing about it is the internet is a place of relatability. The thing about it is we've all shared common things in our life that we can relate to. Being able to relate produces likes and comments. So the moment you post something, what's relatable for you, whether it's through trauma or not, people will still post that. Sometimes it's comedy. So like the first video we saw, that's terrible acting. All of them did a terrible job. I would not hire any of them. But the thing about it is that dad and these people who are recording this said, this will be great content. We have nothing else to show because ain't shit else going on in our life. So let's relate by saying we beat our kids like everybody else. To me, it's fucking idiotic.
Sarah, go.
Yeah. So for me, look, y'all, if you hate me in the comments, I'm sorry. Okay. I'm just going to tell the truth. But the thing for me is I think a lot of this gentle parenting has turned into really soft children, parenting and even softer kids. And I'm not saying that I believe in whooping a child, but I do believe that so many parents have gotten lazy inside of their parenting. To Dimitri's point, obviously someone was recording, right? So someone is recording, waiting to watch. It's obviously planned. But more than that, we have social media that's now raising our children. Our kids are being raised by YouTube, by social media platforms, their friends, and their schools. So now it's like, people aren't spending any time with their kids. Kids don't know how to respect authority of their parents. And now no parents want to actually put the fear of God into their children. I don't believe in putting the fear of God. And you only got to do it one time. So then you can look at that child and it's like, no, I know. Let me get my life together. Because I'm not
Cheyenne, I want to get to Dr. B, but that's just not true from a parent of 2 children. It's not like you can hit somebody once and then look at them. And that's a trauma response. You're saying if I beat you well enough, small child, that all I have to do is reference that beating, and then you will be
two things. Sarah, if I'm your kid, you can't whip me once, girl. You have to whip my ass because I'm a tough cookie. You might have to whip me all the way through till I'm about 18, 19 and leave the house. Torre, there's a difference between beating, abusing, and discipline. So I totally push back on that. There's a big difference. Yes, there is. There's a big difference between there's a big difference. I want to get to the oversharing. Okay. Discipline and beating are 2 different things. Oversharing, though, is demonizing and weaponizing the children. And it is also parents over sexualizing their own kids.
Yes.
What I believe needs to happen in households or in blended families where you're co-parenting, because it's very hard to have these rules of engagements when they're in two different households. And it's very hard for, let's just say, Kim to control what Kanye says, well, Kanye in general, but let's just do anyone when they're not together, they're co-parenting. What I believe needs to happen is there needs to be a co-parent NDA that says these are the non-disclosable agreements that we agree as two parents cannot be disclosed about our kids, even if I'm not in the room to set boundaries with you. As a mother, you cannot have my daughter on social media doing X, Y, and Z. As a father, you cannot put a video of my daughter at the pediatrician or of our teenage daughter getting a pap smear at the OBGYN. These are the rules of the non-disclosure that you can. It's sad that we have to go that far, but we do, because a lot of parents are not in agreement when it comes to co-parenting. And I don't want to put Dimitri on blast. Only people like sharing Dimitri co-parents as well. And there's a lot of things that they don't agree on that ends up impacting his son in ways that are not good. And I don't want to tell your business, but I'm just saying I know some of the background. And so again, this is a direct impact on the child because children don't have insight. All they're doing is showing up to the call of action or to the direction that the parent is giving them. And they don't understand that years later, this can have a psychological effect on them as far as impaired self-esteem, as far as confidence, reduced attention span, and cognitive development. All of that stuff plays a role when kids are exposed to things too early on, and really quick from kids not understanding boundaries within themselves. It can have them grow up to be very boundaryless, and that is very dangerous and risque for a young child.
Dimitri, when you think about oversharing, you're online, you're consuming parent influencers, good and bad. How does that impact even your approach to parenting? Are you learning anything you do or don't want to do from the oversharing that we see?
You know, it's crazy. And this is 100% fact. I've never taken parental advice from anything going online. Ever. I learned from what I seen. I learned from what I did not see. I've never listened to a video of someone saying, the only thing I've ever taken online was fun things to do with my son. Ever. Like when the Elf on the Shelf shit was happening and they had all these ideas, cool. But I will not allow somebody I don't know to have that much impact on how I'm raising my own household.
Hold on. I have definitely seen, let's say, brothers online who are parent influencers, and they're showing how patient they were. There's one brother I like, Belief in Family. It's a great brother. And he's showing how patient he is. And he shares a lot. So you could argue but I'm like, you are reminding me to be super patient with the children and meet them on their time, not on my timeline. And he's not advising me, but I'm just seeing good parenting and going, yep, I need to take right. And like, can we not learn something from some of the sharing?
Absolutely. But you don't need that child's medical history to do so.
At all.
Of course.
Absolutely. You can be inspired. And I think that's why I tend to lean toward that side of parenting myself. I was told by the people who support me and love me and look at me. Some young lady told me, she said, to watch you parent your son and the relationship you two have is inspiring. And it also makes me feel as though I can be okay knowing there are parents out here because my child's father doesn't want to be active.
Now,
it was actually a beautiful
The other side of parents oversharing online is kids who very much want to be online, perhaps even more than their parents want them to be. We have kid-fluencers all over the place, some of them doing incredibly well. Of course, the white ones are doing better than the black ones, but here we are. Some of them are getting thousands of dollars for a post. Some of them are getting millions a year. 13-year-old Ryan's World, 30 million a year. There's also this beautiful child, Samia Ali. Her parents started her as an influencer when she was like 4. She could not consent at 4. She could not be informed about anything. She doesn't even know what's on her plate in front of her, much less to consent to being part of a video that will be seen by millions of people. Now she's like 10. I want to know from you guys. Sarah, you start. You have a child who wants to be on the internet, wants to be making videos, get ready with me, unboxing, whatever it might be. The content she or he wants to make is appropriate. But are you comfortable with them basically having a job on the internet as a 10-year-old person?
I love that. Let's actually take a look at Samia, the 10-year-old little girl kidfluencer first, and then I'd love to share my response.
Welcome back to Samia's Life, and today I'm going to be showing you guys what I got for Christmas. The first thing that I got are these Adidas Sambas. I literally love them so much. Look at these beauty. Like, I love this so much. I love the brown. I have the like original white ones, but this is so cute.
I knew you would love them.
Yes. I feel like my mom knows exactly what I love. So this is the first thing I got. Look at this. It's giving tennis girl. And it comes with a matching top, guys. I love the purple, like lavender right
I
now.
love the color.
My lips are dry. Haley Bieber, if you're watching this, I love you. Vote.
Oh. Sarah?
Ooh, sheesh. Okay, so for me, the thing that I am really feeling when I watch this video, and I have to check myself, is am I addicted to my phone? Like sometimes, have you guys ever gone on Instagram, looked at your notifications, put your phone down and found yourself 5 seconds later or 10 seconds later picking up your phone, going back to Instagram after I just closed the app and I'm sure nothing is new? If you guys can relate to that, please let me know in the chats if you've ever done that. And so with kid influencers, if it's addicting for adults, it's probably even more addicting for the children. So would I let my child be a child influencer? Absolutely. I love the idea of let's make money doing what you love. You found a place to bring
the child is addicted to social media, so it's okay?
No. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to say if she's addicted. I meant to say if she enjoys it, but I don't want her to get addicted to it. I don't want her to get addicted to the dopamine hits. I don't want her to get, because there becomes a chemical imbalance. It can cause depression. So many different things can happen when we are addicted to social media.
But you are comfortable with your child being a social media figure.
For sure. And to be fair, I don't have children, so I'm speaking from theory and not experience.
Well, let's talk to a parent. Dimitri, would you let your child be a kid influencer?
The answer is no. The thing about it is my child is an extension of me. So for those who have seen my child, you've seen me, dad. You have not seen my child. You cannot tell me things about my child. So the thing about it is this. I'm okay with my child having influence through me, but you cannot be an influencer. My son has his own brand that stemmed from mine. Why? Because I was putting on my Lost Lover Boy hoodie. Make sure y'all grab y'all's. I got you. And he said, Dad, I want a hoodie too. I can't fit it. So I said, okay, I'm gonna come up with something just for you. He came out with Little Lover Boy. That's his brand, his hoodie. Every time I get on TikTok Live and he's with me, he be like, let me go put my merch on. But the thing about it is, what social media does to the mind, I don't think people understand. My mama be under these videos fighting with people in the comment section because she can't take the negativity. So you think I'm going to allow a child to have to bring this on full time? You're a child. You don't have to work. I fund your life. The Tooth Fairy just gave you some money. You'll be okay. So for me, it's a no. It's a hard no.
Let me show a video of a very controversial kid influencer situation with Miss Shirley.
To see about yourself and your kids. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I applaud you. Do that. Do whatever you got to do for your kids. But I do shit the right way. I do it the right way. Y'all motherfuckers did everything but motherfucking died. That's why your ass miserable as fuck right now. Motherfuckers inboxing me talking about something. Well, we gonna write a petition to get Miss Shirley banned. Damn, Miss Shirley got y'all in an uproar like that. Miss Shirley is the #1 person over the whole internet right now. And it's because of you motherfuckers. Y'all the one making it. Y'all doing that for her. I accept the good and the bad.
This is the mother.
It come with it. I accept the good and the bad.
Of Miss Shirley, a 4-year-old kid influencer who you can see dancing sweetly, lovely, but she is very, very young. And some people have called CPS shy to say this seems to be too much for them. Are you comfortable with this? Are you comfortable with your future children being kid influencers when they're like 4, 5, 6 years old?
So when I first started being a marriage, family, child therapist, I worked with court order CPS and DCFS kids and families. This is not a CPS call. This can be a strong opinionated audience that says, hey, this young girl is too young to be doing an OnlyFans dance, because OnlyFans dance makes it to where you have to pop your little butt and do this little movement. Would I let my daughter do that on national TV? Absolutely not. I would have boundary conversations that says, baby, when you and mommy doing it in the house, we can pop and do these things, but there's also still a way that you do it. And the way that you do it is in a more of a kid way. And this is what it looks like. But let me go further, because this is a parenting issue. If I'm doing my OnlyFans dance with little Cheyenne, who's watching her mama, who every little girl wants to be like her mama, little boy like their daddy, and I'm popping it and dropping it like it's hot, and this is how she's learning how to do her dances and how to be, a fancy pantsy, then I have to look at myself and say, what am I exposing my baby to? And then secondary, I have to say, well, babe, this is the way that you do it, even if you see someone else doing it. It goes back to what Sarah said about the gentle parenting thing and parents just being lazy as fuck, because parents are no longer having conversations with their kids to explain to them boundaries, or to take the initiative to have awareness of what they are doing themselves, that their children are exposed to and that they're observing, because learned behavior is real. And kids little girls learn how to be little girls, and little boys learn how to be little boys, or they learn how to be respectful adolescents and adults. Those are two different experiences.
I keep hearing some generalizations about parents are lazy.
Correct. We did not, I don't know what Sarah did. I didn't generalize. What I said was, this is a parenting issue. When parents are lazy and don't have very much needed conversations with their kids, because kids need to be taught not just through optics, which is learned behavior, but also through words and explanation of why things need to be this way. What are the risks in doing things like this? So parents, listen, kids are not parenting themselves. And if they are, there's a bigger fucking issue. Parents are there to parent, to guide, and to teach. If you don't have the time to do so, you got to find a way to, or you shouldn't have became a parent, because parenting is one of the biggest investments you will make besides yourself.
Miss Shirley was on Jennifer Hudson's show. Mm-hmm. And she's twerking at 4 years old. Mm-hmm. And the audience is going nuts and applauding loudly and all into her. And beyond that, others, some in good faith, some in bad faith, right? Some of them might have been MAGAs trying to mess up a black woman's paper. But some of them may have generally believed this is not right, and so they're calling.
It's not a CPS.
And this is the mother sister's response. Roll that clip again.
To see about yourself and your kids, that ain't got nothing to do with me. I applaud you. Do that. Do whatever you got to do for your kids. But I do shit the right way. I do it the right way. Y'all motherfuckers did everything but motherfucking died. That's why your ass miserable as fuck right now. Motherfuckers inboxing me talking about something. Well, we gonna write a petition to get Miss Shirley banned. Damn, Miss Shirley got y'all in an uproar like that. Miss Shirley is the number one person over the whole internet right now. And it's because of you motherfuckers. Y'all the one making it. Y'all doing that for her.
Miss Shirley.
I felt the good and the bad.
This child is beautiful, and
absolutely
she is cute, and I enjoy watching her dance. Here's my issue with this level of kid influencer. She has a job. That means you have to show up for other people when they want you to. You may not want to do it. Mm-hmm. You may be asked to make compromises for the betterment of the job, so we make more profit. You may be asked to interact with adults. At times, you don't really want to. That's what adults do, because we take care of other people.
Guess who makes the decision for this 4 or 5-year-old? This is why this has nothing to do with this baby girl. She's beautiful. She's doing her thing. She has personality out this world, and she's talented, obviously. This is a parenting issue. Who do you think makes decisions for who this child is going to serve, work for, and the workforce load of this kid? This baby girl's not waking up going, I'm going to sign my contract and I'm going to work today and go on J HUD and I'm going to go on this show. That's not what she's doing. This is a parenting issue. Parents are there to put hedges, called protection around their kids as to what is appropriate, and also based on their child and knowing what their child can handle.
Sarah, go.
Thank you. Okay, so I just have to say this. More than a parenting issue, it's a societal issue. And this is what I mean by that. I grew up my entire life dancing, jazz, tap, ballet, all the things. And my favorite part of my dance routine and competition was when we were doing what's called isolations, right? We'd pop, lock, and drop it. And I felt so cool as a little girl. Yes, absolutely.
Let me see. Let me show me something. Show me something.
I'm too old now, okay?
No, you're not. Let me show me something. It never believes. Come on, I don't believe it.
Good news.
Trust but verify. I need to see something.
But I mean that to say that the problem is that we have been dancing and having fun our entire lives. But why is it that little Black girls are over sexualized? That's why I'm saying that this is a societal issue, because parents are just letting their little girls have fun. Now, if you're if you're on all fours, pop, if you're on the wall, that's a completely different story. But if you're just having some fun and you throw your hips out there while you're having fun, why is it that that's now looked at as now this is bad parenting? Isn't it? Is it not cute at all?
Sarah, this girl is too adult. This outfit is too adult.
I need to see the outfit. I gotta see the video. The
thing about it is there is a time and a place. And a child should always be allowed to be a child.
Yes.
But the thing about it is this specific topic we're referring to is your ability to exploit your child for monetary gain. This, all this is, and all that I'm hearing when I'm asked this question is how far will you go to show off your son to make money? There is no point. I'm willing to set up a social media page or a TikTok or YouTube or XYZ.
Let's not lose sight of the fact that some of these kids want this. There are kid influencers who want to do this more. And Shai is right, that there are parents pushing the kids too much. But we talked about that. I'm trying to get into
child does not have enough insight to want anything. You are 4 or 5 under my roof, under my rules, under my parenting, under my socioeconomic spending. You don't have to want nothing. You are going to want and do the things that are within your best interest based on the parent that you have, the 2 parents that you have. Kids,
but that's not true, Dr.
That is the problem with parents letting kids at 4 or 5 want things when they don't have the insight to know what they want.
So let me challenge that just a little bit, because I hear what you're saying, but a lot of these parents would never have access to this level of income. That would never happen. And so is it a level of exploitation? Yes. If like how Will Smith back in the day when Willow was a singer and Willow said, "Daddy, I don't want to do it anymore." And Will Smith had to realize, oh my God, I'm exploiting my child. It was fun for her while it was fun. And then I turned it into a job, right? So if it's as long as this child is having fun and they're making an income, and they're not being overly sexualized, because that is very important. But because we've got to look at kids like Blue Ivy. Blue Ivy is 13 years old. This little girl is already a multi-millionaire. Let me finish. What I'm saying is Blue Ivy on that stage from the first time she went on tour to where she is now, you can tell that she's at a way higher work ethic. She loves what she does. She takes pride in what she does.
No. You can't even look at Blue Ivy. Blue Ivy was set for life before she was born. You can't look at Blue Ivy. You have these people these days who have no money of their own. They're taking that money that their kids are making and spending it on their goddamn self.
Well, hold on. Let me, as a person who did a lot of work in television commercials as a child, there are Jackie Coogan laws. Jackie Coogan was the first big child star in the 20th century, back in like the 20s or 30s, and they made laws where parents can only take so much of the child's income. So a lot of these children who are making money for themselves. And if you have a child who aspires to be in the performing arts, wants to be on stage, wants to sing or dance or be an actor, this can be a way of feeding what the child wants. And Shai and I fully understand you live under my roof, but that also feels to me like an old school mindset.
And guess what?
That's how my parents were. Hold on. That's how my parents were. Hold on. That's how my parents were. But our vibe is more like, how can we serve what you dream of?
So hold on. Let me correct you. First of all, your vibe is that, mine isn't. Don't couple us. We don't coexist when it comes to our opinion about this. Second of all, you're correct. I am very traditional and old school. I got my ass whipped. and I had rules to follow and I had boundaries, and I tend to beat every statistic, and I made it out really fucking good. So I'm proud of the parenting that is called traditional parenting, where you have disciplines, you have, in Sarah's word, accountability, and there's rules and regulations of parents who have wisdom beyond yours, little kid, that can teach you things that we know and you don't know. So if you believe that kids have enough wisdom to parent you, then you keep that observation.
Wisdom,
Because Touré, wisdom is needed to make good decisions. You have kids out here who are adolescents who are parenting themselves and raising their younger siblings. That's not parenting. And let me go to the law you talked about. If you are that naive to think that parents are following a law that says, well, my kids make money, because I know what you're talking about. I was a kid, talent kid, goes into a bank account, and that these parents don't have access to their money, you are really wilding out and being very naive.
I mean,
parents access their kids' money all the time, Touré, all the time.
You know, I mean, I think the notion that, as a parent,
look, Touré, look at this picture. Look at this image. That's a kid who wants to put somebody else, Touré. Look at that picture. I
understand that sometimes the children come to you and say, I want this.
Correct. Look at that picture. Is that okay for a kid to do this? That kid wants to flip someone off?
I understand that sometimes
that is a parenting decision.
I understand that sometimes children come to you and say, I want to do this. Mm-hmm. And when that happens, it is the parent's job to say, how can we give you what you want? How can we be there for you?
What they want to do is have their best interest at heart, Touré. You don't let your kids say, Daddy, I'm 16 and I want to go have unprotected sex. How can I help you do that? Parents, you only help your kids do things that you know are going to be for the best interest, Touré.
I don't think that being on television or being in a movie is inherently bad for them. I don't think
you know what it is?
Modeling job is inherently bad for them.
I agree.
But what is, my son came to me.
Allowing them to fulfill what they want, if what they want is to be part of the performing arts, and thus we're putting them out there as a 12 or 14-year-old on the stage. I am a parent who wants to be in service of what these kids want. I do not tell them what to do. We're like, what do you want to do? And how can we make that happen? That's the sort of parent.
I agree with the things that they want to do. Again, that's in alignment with the betterment for their health, their mental health, and the things that won't deteriorate them. That's all I'm saying.
In that case, you put them in a dance class or a singing class or XYZ. You do not have to exploit them on the internet. The thing about it is my son came to me and he said, Daddy, I want what Ryan got in this video. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Lil Ryan, but he got a YouTube, super successful, making a fuck ton of money. Right. Yes. Okay, baby, you want what Ryan got this video, but all of them are tax write-offs for his parents. You don't understand that all of those things you see right there, he can't even enjoy because he got to get up for his weekly shooting schedule. You don't even want to get up for school, kid. So for me to give you this thing you want in life, baby, all I can do is allow you to be a kid and give you that.
You do have to deal with a lot of criticism from the internet, from other people. Beyonce talked about that a lot. Actually, you talk about Blue Ivy in the Renaissance tour movie, which actual Beehive people saw. If you didn't see it, you're not really Beehive. It's 3 hours and you got to make a commitment, but I'm not sort of committed to the Beehive. But she talked about Blue Ivy came to her and said, I want to perform on the stage with you. And she was like, no. And then she asked like 20 more times. And finally she said yes. And when they were about to go up for the first time and she saw that she was nervous, Beyonce said, I am a horrible parent. How could I put the child in this situation that you'd be nervous when she was going on stage? Because she's saying, I am putting you in an adult situation. Now, obviously it worked out for them and it's moving forward, but like, it is a tricky thing when we put the kids in adult situations. But if we give them a chance to shine and thrive, they can learn and become the performance they dream of being. Sarah,
and I also just say yes. So also on top of that, everybody's like, it's like work. What do you think school is? You don't get paid for school and you don't even implement
school is structured to be for the children.
So why not have structure inside of what you love doing? That's what I'm saying. A lot of people, everything is convenient until we look at it a little bit different, right? The truth is, if kids are waking up every single morning and we go to school from 8 a.m. until 3:30, right? If we know that this is what school is, why not have a shooting schedule? They do this Monday through Friday. Let me finish.
Then you're not in school. The kids need to be in school.
Y'all let me get my point out. Okay.
You need a baby for this point. You need to have a child to make this point.
Listen, Dimitri, this is the point. we go to school from K to 8 or for, you know, all the things. We do K to 8, 9 to 12.
In America, we go 12 years, but it's fine.
Perfect. So when you go to school Monday through Friday, you go for X amount of hours every single day, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What if you're actually implementing, learning about taxes, learning about financial literacy, learning how to have a job, being entrepreneurial, and that's passionately what you love? Is that wrong? As long as you have a tutor that's going to teach you the same things they teach you in school, what would be the problem?
Are we doing that because we're giving the child an adult level of responsibility? You have a job and there's a director and an executive and a budget that relies on you being ready to shine when we need you to. That's
I think the working part of the child is not wrong. I think the exploiting them part is what's wrong. And then not doing in the check-ins that says baby, you know. And this is why I hear you, what you're saying a little bit, Tori. I think letting them be free in being able to process who they are, getting a sense of self, and doing the things that they like, right? So they can create their own identity. I hear that, but then let's blend it. Let's do some mental health check-ins that says, baby, how are you feeling about what you're doing? Are you exhausted? Are there any things you want to do that's kid-like? Do you want, like, anytime you want to take a day off, mommy and daddy, we support you. You don't have to do it, and we want you to know that. The things that are good for you, we want to do anything we can to support it. But when it gets tough, baby, you can tap out. You can talk to us. You don't have to be in this as though you're an adult, like it's a huge responsibility.
If you are a child on a television show or on a movie, you know, think about Cosby Show, think about Full House, etc. It's and they try to use twins so that it's less hard on one child.
Right.
But sometimes you get into a situation where you can't. You can't take a break because we have a shooting schedule. We need you and you got to go. And we can't be. And I love the idea of structuring it with the freedom that you're talking about. But Sarah, you can't always do that.
Tori, imagine not being able to pay your rent because your child ain't make that TikTok video you wanted them to make. Imagine that.
That's wild.
Also, Dimitri, but also this, because my younger child, who y'all met this morning, came to me a few years ago and said, I want to be an actor and I want to go to performing arts high school. And I said, okay, let's work on an argument that might work on your mom, because your mom's probably going to say no, but I'm trying to work with you in service of what you want. Now, she changed her mind and we all moved on. But when she said, this is what I want, to be a performer and to be on stage, I said, what can I do to make that happen? That's what I want us to be as parents. Like, how can I be in service?
Absolutely.
If you want to be a kid influencer, I will help you. I will also put the proper guardrails on it so you're not working too much. But so
that you're not exploited. And as a parent, we have eyes and optics they don't have. Baby, we want you to do what you want, but we also are here to protect you and put hedges around you that you don't know you need. That's what parents are there for. They're not to have a dictatorship with their kids, but they're definitely there to protect them and let them know the risks that come with what they're doing. Baby, you take on this TV show, you're going to be working Monday through Friday, 8 hours a day. I want you to know what that looks like. And if you commit to this, baby, listen, you got to be committed to what you're committed to. Are we doing this or not? But you got to let them know the ramifications, because again, children still deserve to be kids, even if they're working. These people are still 5 or 6, 7 years old.
I want to deepen this just a little bit, just to look at Miss Shirley's mom and how she is in this video and how she's balancing momager duty. I love the word momager. There's so many momagers.
Right.
It's a good thing and a tough thing, but let's run the video.
To see about yourself and your kids. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I applaud you. Do that. Do whatever you got to do for your kids. But I do shit the right way. I do it the right way. Y'all motherfuckers did everything but motherfucking died. That's why your ass miserable as fuck right now. Motherfuckers inboxing me talking about something. Well, we gonna write a petition to get Miss Shirley banned. Damn, Miss Shirley got y'all in an uproar like that. Miss Shirley, the number one person over the whole internet right now. And it's because of you motherfuckers. Y'all the one making it. Y'all doing that for her.
The thing about it is, when I look at this video like this, I see the frustration of what happens when you broadcast yourself to social media. She can't deal with it. And the thing about it is, the attention is on her child. So one day, when she's not there to take the heat of the fire, the child will have to. That's my biggest problem. And I'm not forcing my child to be in that for monetary gain. It's just not for me. She's saying she do it the right way. Baby, I don't think so. I don't know about the rest of the world. But in the comment section, let me know if you agree with me, please.
Sarah, what if you had a situation where your child is paid, because some of these kid influencers are paid, to sit on an adult's lap? You comfortable with that?
Gary Coleman?
Like what's that even? Whoa. You mean like a stranger? Like go sit on a stranger?
Sit on
If you are Miss Shirley, you are famous, which means thousands and thousands of people know who you are. You don't know them. So they are strangers to you. You are not a stranger to them. You go to an event and people can take a photograph with you, but that includes 5 minutes or 1 minute of them talking to you, maybe holding your hand, maybe hugging you, maybe you sitting on your child sitting on their lap.
Ain't no way.
$5 or $10. Are you okay with that?
Because I am Mama Bear or I am Grizzly Bear. And y'all let me know in these comments if you agree. But I really
no, Sarah, the chat is fired up, just so you know. They are going off in the chat right now.
There is no way on God's green earth I'm going to allow because you can sit right beside her and take a picture.
It's part of the job.
No. This is how we got people on board.
Look, because as a momager that knows business, this is what I'm going to put it in her contract, by the way. Because
No. You can't negotiate out of this. This is the deal. That people will pay for her to sit on your lap. Their lap. Are you okay with that or not?
No.
Okay, there you go.
And the reason why is because little black girls are over-sexualized. Little black girls are seen as objects. We're not seen as little girls. So I want to say, look, to my givers, okay? To my givers right now, I need to know, do I sound like a crazy lady or are y'all with me? Because for certain, no, Torre, I need to know, like, real talk. If that's just an opportunity for predators now too, to pose as a fan. For your
daughter suddenly against it. Look who's really realized this is not a good idea.
Hey, listen, Torre, I've been saying it the whole time.
It's different from doing what you love.
I've been saying it the whole time. The job is the job. When you give them a job, you can't say what you're going to do or what you're not going to do.
Yes,
the job is the job.
And this is why parenting is important. Because the parents are responsible for reading the job description and the contract and saying what you're going to choose and what you're not.
Yes.
I would let my daughter sit on a woman's lap. I'm just going to be honest. I would not let my daughter sit on any boy or man's lap. If it's a woman and they're engaging and doing their thing, I would. I wouldn't let my son, probably, it's going to sound crazy, probably sit on anybody's lap, male or female. That's just how I feel about it.
Why would there be different rules for your boy and your girl?
Because, you know what? Be honest, I think I'm probably self-projecting how I was raised. My father had one rule for me as a young girl. You don't sit on anybody's lap. I don't care if it's an uncle, a cousin. If it's not daddy, you don't. And I remember one time as a young girl, I probably was 5 or 6, I sat on my uncle's lap, which was, a good friend of his. But he said to me, he looked at me and he said, baby, in front of my uncle, he said, baby, you know damn well you're not supposed to be on his lap. And he told his boy, listen, although you uncle, I better not ever let me see you allow my daughter to ever sit on your lap. That shit does not pop in this house. So my dad was not playing about it. And what it did, Torre, it covered me and it protected me. And it also taught me as a woman now that there are boundaries that I have with men and men have with me. And so, of course, I'm not a boy. I can't talk from that. But as a woman, it taught me because I was a very affectionate, loving young girl. Dimitri knows I'm very affectionate and touchy now as a woman. And I had to learn, don't do that. But I had a father that said, baby, you're loving, but you got to learn who you can love like that, because everyone is not taking your love as something innocent. Some people really prey on you. And that's what I meant by saying parenting is about conversations. He didn't just say, get off the lap. He explained to me that you run the risk of being exposed to predatory. That's a predatory risk. Privacy and safety risks are important. And I think before we think of money, we have to think of our babies and our kids. There's a lot of sexual abuse going on. We know that there's women who are being sexually abused as adults. Imagine young kids. We even have gymnasts that have sued at USC. They're trying not to get off, but their trainer, right, as these young college girls who was fondling and sexually abusing every one of these young girls. Yeah. Parents have to be able to parent and be all in your kids' business. I'm going to be so in their business. Torre's going to think, Uncle Torre's going to be like, stop, please fall back. Fuck that. I'm falling forward. These are my babies. These are my babies.
I want you to be fully and deeply and helicoptery involved in your children's lives. I also want you to be a servant to your children, and they will never be disrespectful, right? But like
No.
the job to me is how can we make your dreams come true?
Well, let's
Let's
make a deal, Uncle Torre. When my babies come, let's have Uncle Torre. You be that part of it, and I'm gonna be the mama bear. So you give the balance. I'll say Uncle Torre gonna be the one that serves you and helps you get where you want. But Mama gonna make the last decision when I tell you that's what the hell we not doing.
I mean, the protector you're talking about is absolutely a part of it. I will walk with you and protect you, but like, I want to listen to you and find out what you want. I mean, look, when my child came to me and said, I want to wear a skirt out in public, I was like, how can I make this okay for you? How can I make this work for you? It doesn't even matter. What do I think is irrelevant, right? What can we do for you? How can we make this comfortable? How do we talk to the school or whoever to make sure that you can do what you want to do? And that to me is what parenting is about. And I understand if you want to be a kid influencer and on the stage, I want to help you do that. I want to put the proper guardrails so that your mind and your spirit and your money are protected from me and from others. I will be the dadager who protects you, the daddy bear, but also like, I am here to help. My God, I spent a whole long weekend at a volleyball tournament 3 weeks ago.
Oh, we don't want to even get on that. Because my niece plays volleyball and they have to wear them short shorts. No.
10 volleyball matches in a row. I mean, like, it's an amazing community. I don't even care what they wear.
Those shorts that those girls wear. I had a whole argument with my best friend about my niece. I said, she's wearing those shorts. She's like, Cheyenne, this is what, no. And she's like 15. I'm like, the shorts, now you want to talk about triggered. Oh, I was triggered. I said, she can't.
I understand that you're triggered.
But, oh Lord.
I understand that you're triggered. I, as the dad, I make no comment on such things. I just transport and support. It's an extreme, this specific volleyball situation is an extremely woman or girl, female situation. Like 80% of the people in the space are female, right? And everybody is bending over backwards to like, help them and be there for them. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm not at all thinking like this is about sexual. This is like.
But wait, listen. I want. We got to wrap up. I want because the chat is going crazy right now. I want y'all to keep coming in the chat. Let us know your thoughts. What is your parenting style? Do you believe in gentle parenting? Make gentle for gentle kids, or you believe in the Dr. Bryant kind of like you're gonna do what the hell I tell you about to do? Because I'm mama. What do you think? We want y'all to keep going off in the chat. We see y'all. They're on fire right now.
The thing I think about though is when we hear a lot about Shai's father, we know like we're getting to a deep spiritual place, like as a community, like the four of us, because that's what you're like really in your bag, Sherry. We hear about like Aunt Marge, like Sarah's like really in her bag. We hear about like Dimitri's son, like people like really sharing like deeply into like who they are, what they're really here for, like in life. So I love that. I appreciate that. My God, you guys like brought it deep down from like the spirit today. Like I love you guys. Shai, Dimitri, Sarah, you guys are awesome. Next week, attorney Ariva Martin and Judge Lauren Lake will be here with us. They are titans. They are brilliant. They are charismatic. They are wonderful, inspiring people. I can't wait to get into it with them. Like, comment, subscribe on our YouTube at TruthTalks-Live. You can always watch us here in the Black Star Network right after Roland Martin Unfiltered or on at youtube.com/@TruthTalks-Live. Support Black media at the links on your screen. Support us by advertising with Truth Talks and reach our 10 million person strong audience on all our social platforms. Dr. Bryant, they can partner with you as an influencer by visiting TruthTalksLive.com, become a VIP member of the Truth Lounge, and go see the Doc Squad room. What's going on in the Doc Squad room?
A whole lot of non-gentle parenting. I'll tell you that much. Oh, no. But gentle parents, you're welcome as well. Just don't bring your gentle ass kids. I'm just playing. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. Come to the Doc Squad. It's that one-on-one, doc engagement. I want y'all to be real in there. Bring your issues, bring your comments. Agree with me, disagree with me. You guys know how Doc does. I want to hear it all. I love y'all. And we're a community. It's a safe space there. I'm not going to tell nobody your secrets, even if you're telling your friends secrets. But I want to see y'all in there. I love my Doc Squad.
Jody, we got to do an episode about gentle parenting or conscious parenting and beating the children or whatever it is that Dr. Brian is doing or will do.
Soft kids, boy, I tell you.
As we talk tonight, Black media is under attack, so keep supporting by telling a friend to tell a friend to watch Truth Talks, the most unapologetic Black show on the TV. Check us out every night, 8 p.m. EST, and again on the West Coast at 8 p.m. PST. We will be back tomorrow with more Truth Talks. Love you guys.
Bye.